Hi, I'm Odian Smith, and I'd like to share my journey of learning English. Growing up, English wasn't my first language. In my hometown, we spoke Brazilian Portuguese, and English was something we only encountered in school textbooks or the occasional TV show. I remember feeling both fascinated and frustrated whenever I heard English. The words sounded so different, and the grammar seemed so complex. I struggled a lot at first. In school, I often stumbled over words during reading assignments and felt embarrassed when I couldn't follow along with English conversations. My grades in English class were average at best, and I felt discouraged every time I saw my report card. But deep down, I knew that learning English was important, and I didn't want to give up. I decided to learn English because it opened up many opportunities. The realization hit me when I was in high school. I attended a seminar where a successful entrepreneur spoke about his experiences. He emphasized how crucial English had been in his career, enabling him to work with international clients, attend global conferences, and access a wealth of information. His words resonated with me. I began to see English not just as a school subject, but as a key to unlocking a world of possibilities. Learning English meant better job prospects. Many of the best job opportunities required proficiency in English, especially in fields like technology, business, and academia. I dreamed of working for a multinational company, traveling for work, and collaborating with people from different cultures. English was the bridge to those dreams. Moreover, English would allow me to make new friends and connect with people globally. I loved the idea of meeting people from different parts of the world, understanding their perspectives, and sharing my own culture with them. Traveling was another passion of mine, and being able to communicate in English would make my travels richer and less stressful. So, with a heart full of determination and a mind focused on endless possibilities, I embarked on my journey to learn English. It wasn't an easy path, but every step brought me closer to my goals and dreams. Now, I want to share my story, the strategies I used, the challenges I faced, and the triumphs I celebrated, hoping to inspire and guide others on their own English learning journey. When I first decided to learn English, I was both excited and apprehensive. The excitement came from the realization of all the doors that mastering English could open for me, but the apprehension stemmed from the daunting task ahead. English seemed very difficult at first. The rules of grammar were unlike those of my native language, and the pronunciation was challenging. I remember my first few weeks of seriously trying to learn the language were filled with frustration. One of the biggest challenges I faced was understanding spoken English. I could read simple sentences and understand basic phrases, but when it came to listening, everything seemed to blur into an incomprehensible stream of words. People spoke too quickly, and their words seemed to merge together. Watching movies or listening to music in English felt like decoding a foreign script. The different accents added to the complexity. Whether it was British, American, or Australian accents, each had its own nuances and peculiarities that made comprehension difficult. Moreover, my shyness was a significant barrier. I was too shy to speak English, even in situations where I needed to. The fear of making mistakes and being laughed at kept me silent. I vividly remember a few embarrassing moments at school where my attempts to speak English were met with giggles from classmates. These experiences made me more self-conscious and hesitant to practice speaking. I felt a sense of isolation, knowing that my inability to communicate in English was holding me back from fully participating in class and social activities. The vocabulary was another hurdle. English has a vast lexicon, and many words seemed confusingly similar yet had different meanings. I often found myself mixing up words or forgetting them entirely. Learning new vocabulary felt like pouring water into a leaky bucket. I would memorize words one day and forget them the next. Additionally, the irregularities in spelling and pronunciation baffled me. Words that looked similar could be pronounced differently, and words that sounded similar could have completely different spellings. Grammar was equally perplexing. The tenses, articles, prepositions, and sentence structures in English didn't always align with the rules of my native language. For instance, the use of articles like a, an, and the was a concept I struggled with. I often used them incorrectly or omitted them altogether. The difference between past perfect and past simple tenses, or when to use the present continuous tense, was confusing. The subtleties of these grammatical rules were not easy to grasp. Reading in English posed its own set of challenges. I could manage short paragraphs or simple texts, but longer passages with complex sentence structures and unfamiliar vocabulary were intimidating. I often had to look up multiple words in a single paragraph, which disrupted the flow of reading and made the process laborious. This made me reluctant to read, as it felt more like a chore than a pleasurable activity. Despite these challenges, I knew that giving up was not an option. I had to find a way to overcome these obstacles and make progress in my English learning journey. Recognizing that I needed a structured approach to tackle these challenges, I decided to take my first step by enrolling in an English class at a local community center. This was a significant decision for me. The community center offered evening classes for adults, which fit perfectly with my schedule. I signed up for a beginner's course, feeling both nervous and hopeful. The first few classes were overwhelming. The teacher spoke mostly in English, which was part of the immersive approach, but it made me feel lost at times. However, the structured lessons provided a foundation that I desperately needed. We started with basic grammar and simple sentence structures. The teacher was patient and encouraging, which helped build my confidence. We practiced speaking in pairs and small groups, which gradually eased my fear of speaking in public. In addition to the classes, I realized that immersing myself in the language outside the classroom was crucial. I decided to start watching English TV shows with subtitles. This was both an educational and entertaining way to improve my listening skills. I chose shows with clear dialogues and engaging storylines to keep myself motivated. At first, I had to rely heavily on the subtitles, but slowly, I began to catch more and more words and phrases without needing to read along. Watching TV shows also exposed me to different accents and colloquial expressions, which enriched my understanding of the language. Shows like Friends and The Office became my favorites because they were not only funny but also used everyday language that was useful for real-life conversations. I made it a point to note down new words and expressions I came across and look them up later. This not only expanded my vocabulary but also helped me understand how words were used in different contexts. To enhance my listening skills, I immersed myself in English media. I watched movies and TV shows with subtitles, gradually transitioning to watching without subtitles as my understanding improved. This helped me get used to different accents, colloquial expressions, and the natural pace of spoken English. Music was another enjoyable way to immerse myself in the language. I listened to English songs, learned the lyrics, and sang along. This helped with pronunciation and rhythm, and it was a fun way to practice. Overall, my journey to learn English involved a combination of formal education, self-study, and immersive experiences. It required consistent effort, dedication, and a willingness to step out of my comfort zone. The progress was gradual, and there were challenges along the way, but each step brought me closer to my goal of mastering the language. The experience taught me the importance of perseverance, adaptability, and the value of embracing mistakes as learning opportunities. As I reflect on my journey to learn English, I'm filled with a sense of accomplishment and gratitude. The progress I made was not just in language proficiency, but also in personal growth. I became more confident, open-minded, and resilient through the process. The initial challenges I faced seemed daunting at the time, but they were crucial in shaping my approach to learning. I learned that persistence and consistency are key. There were times when I felt frustrated and discouraged, especially when I struggled with pronunciation or misunderstood a conversation. However, I realized that setbacks are a natural part of any learning process. Each mistake was an opportunity to learn and improve. I learned to celebrate small victories, whether it was successfully holding a conversation in English or understanding a difficult text. These milestones kept me motivated and reinforced the belief that progress, no matter how slow, was still progress. One of the most rewarding aspects of learning English was the new opportunities it opened up for me. I was able to apply for better job positions, participate in international projects, and connect with people from different cultures. Being able to communicate in English expanded my social circle and allowed me to make friends from all over the world. This enriched my life in ways I hadn't imagined. The process of learning English also taught me the value of setting goals and being disciplined. I had to manage my time effectively, balancing language learning with other responsibilities. This experience improved my organizational skills and helped me develop a growth mindset. I realized that with effort and determination, I could overcome challenges and achieve my goals. Looking back, I can see how much I've grown, not just as an English speaker, but as an individual. The journey was challenging, but it was also incredibly rewarding. It taught me the importance of perseverance, adaptability, and a positive attitude. I'm proud of the progress I've made, and I know that learning is a lifelong journey. I continue to practice and improve my English, knowing that there's always more to learn and explore. My advice to anyone learning a new language is to be patient with yourself and enjoy the journey. It's important to set realistic goals, practice consistently, and not be afraid of making mistakes. Surround yourself with the language as much as possible and find ways to make learning fun and engaging. Remember that every step, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal. Keep an open mind, stay curious, and never stop learning. The rewards of mastering a new language are worth the effort, and the journey itself is an enriching experience.